All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Dudley October 8th meeting of the Dudley Planning Board. This time, I'd like to let everyone know that this meeting is being recorded and ask everyone to join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Okay. All right, we've got new business approval of minutes. What's the board's pleasure? Should we, you want to wait a little longer and move on to standard business, or want to?
Well, it would be nice to have as many people as are going to make it for this vote, I suppose.
Okay, all right.
That's an opinion, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
I'm done with voting for it. I mean, got the letter stating.
Okay, all right, all right, we can move forward. All right, so
As
we're
long as
gonna,
you mentioned, you know,
That's the case today.
like was mentioned in Braden's email that he got.
yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go with approval of minutes for August 13th, 2025. We'll separate these?
Yeah.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion for approval of minutes August 13th.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Is
And
that unanimous?
Yeah.
Okay. Next,
With the caveat that.
well, we just voted and
I don't know,
you,
it's all right. Well, it's in writing.
when he makes a
anyway.
motion, you want at that point, you would want to, if you want to change
Well, I
it.
said it before the motion, so I figured you would say it, but you didn't, so. You got the same email I got.
Right. Next up, approval of minutes for September 10th, 2025.
so moved.
No, not to abstain from, so.
Okay. Oh, that's right, you weren't here. Mr. Horn has just joined the meeting, and we were working on the approval of minutes for September 10th.
That was the last one.
Yeah, and we have a motion, we need a second.
Okay, second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
And Mr. Durgan abstains.
Everyone understood.
Okay, so Braden, make sure we don't leave here without signing the minutes.
I've got them right here.
Okay,
Ah.
all right. At the, was it the last meeting that it happened?
We forgot to sign the.
We forgot to sign
so
minutes
they're-
on ones that we already approved.
Gotcha.
So we've actually got three
We can
sets of minutes.
circulate 'em while we're here.
3 sets of minutes to sign. Yeah, let's do it now, we've got time.
Get the process started anyway.
13th and the 9th.
13th and the 9th, all right. I'll try to keep these moving.
Actually, here's the 10th as well,
Yeah.
because we just approved that.
Oh, we still have a standard. Oh, do we want to go ahead and keep these moving at the same time? or-
Sure.
We got 2 copies. So there's 1 copy here.
I'm not looking at the dates, so David, you're gonna have to figure out which one of these you're not.
I'm only signing one of them, right?
The September 10th one.
Oh, the other one too that I wasn't here for. Wasn't there one?
2 copies, right?
There's July 9th,
Yeah, that one I didn't vote on.
August 13th.
If I didn't vote on it, I don't sign it, right?
I'm actually not sure.
We were here for the meeting, though.
No, you voted on that last meeting. I was here for the meeting, yes,
So then you can sign the minutes.
but I wasn't here to vote on the minutes, to sign it, you know what I mean? You guys took the minutes you guys
Yeah,
took the
there
minutes
is.
last meeting, so.
Whatever you're comfortable
I'll
with,
just-
as long
I'll
as we
just
get
won't
3
sign that one.
signatures so we can certify these for the town clerk, I'm fine with that.
Okay, they're all set. Is that the one I'm supposed to sign too? September 10th, this was?
August 13th is the one I just voted on. Did I vote on that? No, that's the one I abstained from, right? That one,
Must be September, because that was the last one.
that was the one I abstained from, because I wasn't there. This is the one I just voted on.
was August.
That one's August.
Oh, okay. They're all set.
Okay, great. All right, so now we're gonna move on to standard business. Discussion status report on finishing construction of an acceptance of uncompleted/unaccepted subdivision streets, including Pierpont Estates. I don't think we have anything new there. Country View Estates, Eisenhower Drive. I think we're still same as last time.
I saw.
We did hear that, yeah, there was a,
$50,000 for that sewer replacement thing, or sewer pump.
yeah,
Mentioned that at the water department.
but they did petition, they did come forward with it.
They, like, officially come forward, but that was the number that they gave.
Okay.
That the water department has to fix that.
50,000?
Yeah.
Lions Estates, I haven't been up there since 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, things looked like they were moving along well, and it seems like there were some issues with some sprinkler heads that had been damaged during the work. You know, people had the sprinkler system in the yard
Right.
there, some sprinkler heads, but I noticed that the representative from the developer, he reached, immediately said, we're gonna take care of it, and seems like that's been resolved, because I haven't seen any further
Okay.
correspondence regarding that issue. And Sophie's Way, there's nothing new to report there.
There's one more that's not on the list, Paul Lane, Circle Drive.
All right, so if you would like to add that as a recurring, well, all right, so I guess my first question is, so this is one of these subdivisions that's
Incomplete.
over 20 years old, uncompleted. So
Shouldn't
do
it be
we want to put that back on the agenda so we can
Well,
make decisions and vote on it? Because if we're going to do that, then we
Well,
probably would pull up
technically,
every uncompleted subdivision.
Yeah, but he started working on it again.
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up. He was working on it without it being a lot release. And he hasn't put in the
Drainage system's
drainage.
not fixed.
So, that goes back so far, I couldn't even begin to tell you whether or not that subdivision was approved, completed, whether or not it was certified as completed.
It's not completed.
It's not.
You have a
complete.
letter from, actually Braden found a letter and gave it to you from a previous planning board that Guy Horn was on, that said that he can have his money, but he has to finish that catch basin or tie into the drainage. Are you pretending like you don't know that email?
Am I pretending? I'm not pretending
Braden.
anything.
Does Mr. Wetruba have information about that email? I believe you were here when I got it, or you were on the phone.
I don't recall sending it to him.
Thank you.
I do know that I copied it for you.
Yeah.
So I know you have it. I don't believe it was sent to anybody else through email.
Thank you. All right, so before you accuse me of pretending that I'm,
You were
or
there.
ignoring information
So it
because,
was on the phone. We were speaking with the builder for Raymond Street. It was a conservation issue, actually.
As far as I know.
oh, so you thought that, I understand what happened now. He thought that conversation was regarding,
No, you were there at the meeting, remember, you were there talking to Brady when I came in without my wife. I came in with my wife that first day.
Yeah, you had asked if you were allowed to see the binder, and then you went to the town clerk to go ask her, and we didn't see you again.
yeah. Yeah.
I came back the next day.
I wasn't there the next day.
No, you weren't there the first day I came, you were on the phone.
Yeah, the second day was the binder and the clerk. The first day, he was on the phone while you had come by with your wife, and we had printed out some documents.
Yeah, and you were there for that document that we printed out.
Well, now that's crystal clear to everyone. What are we doing here?
Well, I guess we'll have to email it to you, we'll table it to next meeting, he hasn't come forward
I
yet.
mean, as far as I know, from being on the board when that was going through, the developer had finished all the work that was necessary there, that was required by the planning board.
Why, they have a betterment.
Do we still have a betterment?
Yeah.
In 2019, they applied for a betterment. The only reason they didn't go forward with the betterment is because Shinaki owns that bottom part.
But is there-
Circle
there's
Drive.
And there's a detention pond that was there for
There's no
it.
covenant or anything existing with that.
There's the covenant right there.
It's still not in force.
It should be.
Why
Yeah,
would it be?
it should be.
So,
Just because you gave him his money back doesn't mean that his lot, he doesn't still have to do a lot release, he's court ordered to either put in drainage, or he's court ordered to tie into the drainage, existing drainage, before we can send a lot release. And Braden, you'll have to send the email to everybody. I thought you-
Problem is, it's gonna be like Tobin Farms where a detention pond wasn't put in.
No, he's doing work
And then the
without asking for a
taxpayers.
lot release, that's the problem.
What's he doing on the lot?
He's clearing the whole lot that the
Cleared out the
detention
lot.
pond's supposed to go.
Without a lot release.
Right,
You don't need to have a lot release to clear it.
he's tying in, he's got dig safe written down, he's,
All right, I'm gonna stop it right here, because we're really getting into the weeds. We've already got a problem where you're part of the Chinaki family, you're part of the Chinaki family, you guys are sitting here as board members and arguing this with us. It's like, really, at this point, you should be recusing yourself, if we were gonna take it up.
All right, I'll request it on next agenda, and I'll
I
accuse
don't
myself.
think there's anything, my opinion, I don't think, unless he goes to the building department and asks for a building permit, there's nothing we can do about it.
he's asking
He
for a
already
building permit.
has.
It's in there right now with the ZBA.
Okay?
Apply for the ZBA to get the frontage.
Well, then that would have to go to
Through the chair,
to the lawyer.
can we place this on the agenda for next meeting to talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
All right, there we go.
we'll talk about it next meeting then.
Or do you wanna vote on that?
I don't
Vote
think you,
to add it to the agenda?
Yeah, probably should.
I make a motion,
You know,
Mr. Chairman, that we
okay.
add this to the agenda for
Okay.
the next meeting.
Second.
All right.
all in favor?
I'll second it.
Aye. Oh, I gotta actually.
Wait a minute, hold on,
recuse.
because he's trying to take notes of what's happening right here, so let's try and just keep this. Mr. Clark made the motion.
I mean, technically, they're not supposed to be talking about it if they're related to the subdivision, so that I'll second it so that he doesn't.
Right, so
Well,
Mr.
technically-
If
Clark,
he has to recuse himself, he can still.
Mr. Clark made the
He
motion.
seconded.
I'll second it.
Mr. Horn seconded. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. 3 ayes,
To abstain.
2 abstains.
I don't think I need to abstain, but okay.
Yeah, I don't think I have to abstain, because we have nothing to do with that subdevelopment.
Well, it's pretty close to where you live.
Yeah, well,
But he opened the door. You say he has nothing to do with the development, but he's literally making the argument that it's not legal for him to do what he's doing because the Chinakis
all
still
right.
own it and that's your
well, no,
development.
we own the road, we don't
Point of
own.
order,
we
I
don't
said
own
that the
Paul Lane.
betterment wasn't moving forward because the Shinakis own a little sliver, according to Greg Ballianconis, the former town administrator,
All
2019.
right, next meeting.
And that little
We'll talk about it
sliver,
next meeting.
that little sliver is part
Let's,
of
we'll
Rocky
show you
Hills.
the information.
No, it's not, but we're on real estate, so that's why we'll talk about it next meeting.
Right, thank you.
All right. Okay, so we're done with standard business, on to inspections and actions associated with site plans. Legacy Landing Country Club Acres. So, at the last meeting, my recollection was that we had discussed that there was apparently somebody had come in to the town hall and explained that they were walking their dog in the
Trail.
in the development there, and that one of the residents of the development came out and apparently was, again, this is all hearsay at this point, but
Let me recuse
sounds like
myself,
there
Mr. Chairman.
was a confrontation between a woman who was walking with her teenage daughter and a dog and a resident there, unidentified. She was at, she came in and she spoke to the town clerk. Town clerk, Braden, is it correct that then the clerk advised you of what happened?
Yes.
Right.
Sent her to,
And advised that she go speak with the police department. At this point, we don't even know whether or not she filed a complaint or what has come of it. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because it comes on the heels of, we were just talking about that they had posted signs saying that you weren't, they didn't want you walking your dog in there or something to that effect unless you're a resident in there. And we had discussed about how, as one of the conditions of allowing that condo complex to be built in the first place, that's supposed to be a public walking trail, open to the public, and it was very clear that they should also be able to come in there and park and get out of their cars and go over and walk on that public walking trail. So we were talking about reaching out to, because it's our understanding that it is not the developer who put these signs up, that it is the homeowners association. And at this point, I believe this gentleman here, are you president of the homeowners association? Could you come up and introduce yourself and we could talk about this?
We need you to sign in, Mitch, if you would.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Yep.
Wouldn't mind, just sign.
Yep.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we've had a lot of discussion about this. And I'm here not to argue, but I'm just here to actually inform you and clarify, I think, possibly some misunderstandings between what you're thinking versus what we're seeing in our documents as homeowners. This is a private community, it's a private street, it's everything that we maintain all of this. And in our documents, I'm sure there's a couple of things that I want to share with you. And the first one is in our trust document on page 287, and I'm going to give this with you, but on Article 5.1R, it states the following. Grant revocable access to the proposed trail to residents of the town of Dudley who are 55 years of age or older upon written proof of said resident's age being greater than 55 years of age and said resident submitting to the trustees of a Massachusetts criminal offender record information, parentheses, Corey, that shows no criminal convictions. Said access can be revoked by the trustee at any time and for any reason. That was not in the documents that we signed when we bought a purchase and sale agreement. We were of the understanding it's a private community and that would be the way it was. The dust trail is part of it, which we think was quite nice. But anyway, we looked at this as we started to have people walking through, and we said there's just no way that we can be a neighbor and enforce these words. Just doesn't make sense why it was put in our trust, that is the reason it becomes our responsibility. And when you kind of think about it, as we sort of thought about it as sort of 55 plus people, you go into a community like that because you're older and you're looking for all of your services to be maintained and have a nice retirement. And why would the planning board want to have a public trail that is a private trail on private property allowed for all the community? Well, and I think that is clearly what you folks wanted to do and are under the impression. So anyway, we've had that there and we're not enforcing it. We're not even bringing it up. What really kind of got us to wanting to chat with people walking through was another item in our deed, and that was on page 248, and I'll at least read the first sentence of that document. Any unit owner may keep no more than 2 dogs or 2 cats in a unit, or 1 of each, subject to the restrictions and limitations contained in this paragraph, but no unit owner may keep a Rottweiler, Doberman Pinscher, Pit Bull, or any type of dog that is determined to be a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the unit owners. And then it goes on to reptiles and other animals, which I'm not going to bother. So that is something that we as unit owners, when we bought in, we can't have those types of dogs, and they named specifically several breeds. And they're all large breeds, and they're all breeds that, are just big and strong, and some could be aggressive. And when we looked at that, we said, how do we deal with this? Because there were some people walking through with larger dogs, and we witnessed people having trouble kind of controlling their dog. And when they see, we have four homes where we have small little dogs. And if we're walking a small dog and someone's walking through with a large dog and one that looks a little bit aggressive, looks like the owner's having a difficult time actually holding them, I said if that leash ever slipped out of their hand, it would be something that we sure would want to deal with. So on that item, we said, I think the easiest way as an association to deal with it is say, non-residents, dogs not allowed. So that's our thought process. We've had a lot of people walking through this summer. It's even last year, but last year was more still under construction. Now we're feeling like a finished community. And we find that people walk down the street with a child in a carriage and two dogs on a string down the main street. And those UPS trucks and FedEx trucks come around those corners, it's a danger. And we'd have the liability if there was ever an accident, or if there was ever an incident with a dog doing attacking a small dog, or if they're walking on our trails. And I've seen bicycles, and we've seen skateboards on the road, we've seen bicycles go, anyway, a lot of activity. And we say that on our dust trails, same question, is something falls, somebody gets hurt, who has the liability? It seems to be us, it's private property. So anyway, I'm just pointing out that that is why we've kind of wondered about public access. And we're not at this point questioning people, but we are concerned about animals. And smaller animals, we can make exceptions, and that's a Board of Trustees decision. If we want to allow people to walk with smaller animals, is not an issue. It's the larger animals that we're concerned about. So I just wanted to sort of share with you the discussions we have
Yeah.
in relationship to the what you guys talk about.
Oh, I can appreciate that. You referenced the master deed, or the deeds that were all viewed and signed. The deeds would regulate all of the people that live there, that sign those deeds.
Yes.
But it sounds to me like you're taking the stipulations in the deed and you're saying, boy, that looks good. Let's force that on the public, the people that are coming through on the pathway that are not. In other words, let me put it this way. You can't hold the people who aren't owners of units in there to the same restrictions as the people that are living there, because the deed that you signed, you're bound by that as a unit owner.
Mm-hmm.
The people who come in from outside that have the right to use that walkway, public, they can't be bound by that just because you, as a homeowners association.
But why would you envision that dust trail on our property, which is a single
I'll
lot?
tell you exactly why, because when that developer came forward, that developer wanted to put more units on that parcel closer together, and as a trade-off, we get open space. It's called an open space development. So normally, if you come forward and you wanted to develop that parcel of land and you didn't do an open space development, the units would have to be spread out further apart from each other, and they would take up more of the land. What you'd end up with is you'd end up with larger yards between the units, but you would have no open space left. And the idea is that we want to value open space for recreational purposes. So we are willing to make certain stipulations. We have in our regulations that you can do what's called an open space subdivision, where you agree that you're going to leave part of that land for recreation or just as open space. There's different possible uses. Sometimes it's just leaving it natural,
Open, yeah.
leaving it the way it was. Or sometimes, like in this case, it's the developer in this particular situation, he thought it would be beneficial to both the residents that are going to be living there and the public to have a walkway go through there. So that's what, back when that particular planning board made those decisions and negotiated with that developer, that was the trade-off.
It wasn't the planning board's idea to put the walking trail in. The developer requested that so he could get an additional 1 to 2 houses in that subdivision.
Yeah, for the open space.
So he gained by it, not the town of Dudley. Yeah.
I haven't seen anywhere where that's written.
Well, I was there, that's what
It's a
what
decision,
happened.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've looked at all the waivers and it wasn't there.
Can we get him a copy of the
There's an
decision?
excerpt in your binders from the special permit decision. It is a condition of approval that there be a public walking trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something you guys should definitely have as the homeowners association. So, what, you know,
It's
what,
in the second highlighted section in that piece of paper.
What color tab am I looking for?
Yeah.
It would be under standard business.
Oh, okay, I was under site plan.
Yeah,
Got
so-
it.
So we don't, the planning board doesn't dictate to the developer what they need to do to get a density bonus. That's what's called the density bonus, more units in the subdivision. He could have put a soccer field in, he could have put a playground in, he could have done any of many things. The
So-
developer chose this.
So the document that was just handed to you, if you look at the very top of the page, the very small print there, it says a book number and a page number. Well, that indicates that this was actually recorded at the Worcester Registry of Deeds. And this is the decision. So after the planning board approved this project, a decision was written up that was then signed by the planning board, and the developer is bound by the requirements in here. And under number 7, I'm just gonna read the highlighted area because there's a lot here. In the design of this tree planting / landscaping plan, oh, wait a minute, that's about the buffer. Number 8. It is noted that the applicant wishes to allow the public to use the walking trail on the site, subject to appropriate documentation to be approved along with the definitive plan. And then it goes on to say, a gravel service parking area containing 2 spaces for users of this trail and also for overflow parking by visitors will be shown on the definitive plan and will be subject to a condition of approval of that plan. I do believe that that is on the, those parking spaces are on the plan.
I think they're even paved.
I think so, yeah, I think they end up being paved. Mr. Clark?
Mr. Chairman, as on a butter, one of the things that I think at issue here is the signage that was put up. That was put up by the homeowners association?
Yeah.
Okay. Where the signs are located would effectively deny access to this trail because it's at the beginning of the property, well before you'd find the trail. So effectively, an effort has been made in placing those signs, keeping people off the trail.
I would agree. I don't think they put the signs up with the thought that, oh, we're gonna put them in a little further so they know we just don't want them coming into our roadway in front of our houses.
And I've walked this thing pretty regularly, and in all honesty, the most aggressive canine I've seen out there is that little Yorkie. I don't know what it weighs by pound, but it's fighting over its weight, that's for
Some
darn
little small
sure.
dogs are very
Yeah,
tenacious.
I mean, that thing will go after
dogs are
anybody's
worse
throat
than that,
in a heartbeat.
Agreed.
I'm surprised that as many people would be using it as are, given the fact that there's everything indicating on those signs to discourage them from doing so. And I don't know who's going to maintain that going forward, because there's already signs of some erosion. Certain areas are starting to, the grass is protruding, so the surface is somewhat wearing away or being undermined. So I don't know who gets responsibility. I assume you folks do. Now, whether that is indicated in your deeds or not, that might be a question at some time in the future.
Well, we have 2 kinds of signs, okay?
Yep.
We just at the entrance, and we don't know where they properly belong, so we picked a spot and just buried it, stuck it in there. And the first one is just sort of a standard sign you can get from a sign company saying, it's a private community, speed limit 15 miles an hour, and I forget, might be.
It says no trespassing.
No trespassing.
No trespassing. Private community, no trespassing, speed limit 15 miles an hour. It does not mention the availability of a walking trail. No indication on that sign or the sign below it, which is non-resident dogs not allowed, any indication that there's a walking trail or that there is parking available for people who want to access the walking trail. It's as much as you could, this is trying to keep this thing a secret or keep it under wraps, if you will. And again, the placement of the signs is such that no one would even know the trails were there. Looking at the sign, that would get them to turn around, if you will, and leave. If
Well,
they, you know.
we weren't aware of this, what you handed me at all. And we were going on the premise of what I just read to you, and obviously it's a different story. I am concerned about the liability issue on public on private. And I'm not sure how that's gonna be resolved.
Yep.
I gotta have to say that we have chatted with people under the light of what we thought we knew about what was allowed. And I'm gonna tell you, there's some real attitude out there. The dogs that I was most worried about were 2 German Shepherds.
I know what you mean, Joe.
And those folks, the man was okay, but the lady really struggled to hold that dog, and that dog was at full alert on anything he saw with 4 legs. And we were all really nervous about that, and that's what mostly pushed us into getting no dogs allowed for non-residents thinking. We said, if we can't have a large dog that's in our documents, if we can't have a Doberman Pinscher, we can define a Shepherd as a large dog that we don't want in our property. So you just get into this whole, what do we want to do? How do you handle that? And just trying to struggle with dogs.
But there is nothing in the agreement we had. Again, a member of the planning board who had to recuse himself of this situation. There's nothing in the agreement to specify what type of dog or any dog specifically as regards to accessing that trail. Now, if the contractor did not provide you with information in terms of what he had agreed to, shame on him and shame on you for not having pursued the question or tried to find out. I mean, you would have known that the trail was coming in.
Well, we all knew the trail.
That
We
was
thought it
coming
kinda
in.
charming.
But the specifics regarding the use of that trail, apparently either you hadn't asked or they hadn't offered that information.
We asked, and we actually had one neighbor move out because of. the
I know
proximity.
the one you mean, yeah. You
Yeah,
had the trail actually moved because
So-
he felt too close to his property.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't you, as a condominium community, don't you have a master plan, I don't know if they call it a master plan or a master deed, but don't you have a master insurance policy or something like that?
Oh, yeah, we've got all the coverage.
Yeah.
We've got all the coverage.
'Cause, I mean, so like, if something happens on the trail, it would be no different than like if a mail carrier or a FedEx driver or any of the delivery drivers that come into your property every day to make deliveries, if they got bit by one of the neighbor's dogs that lived there, I mean, like, you'd have the same situation. I mean, like, you would have to have coverage for something happening like that. Or if 2 neighbors that live there get into a car accident, you have to have coverage for that. So it would be no different than if a car from, the outside was driving through there and one of the neighbors hit them, I mean, or vice versa. It's just, I mean, I think you can put a sign up that says private community, but I don't think you can put a sign up that says no trespassing, because you have a public walking trail that goes through the community.
So just going over what's in here, noted the applicant wishes to allow the public to use the walking trail on site, subject to appropriate documentation to be approved along the definitive plan. What was the thoughts of that statement? The last part of it, anyway.
Appropriate documentation to be approved along with the definitive plan?
Yeah,
It could have just been a design of how they were gonna build
Yeah.
the trail. Like, it would, it's a dust trail.
Could have been a map.
It could have
of how the
been
plan was set up.
asphalt, or it
Yeah.
could have been concrete, how they were gonna make the trail.
okay. Okay, well, now I understand,
Because that's what they would have put on the definitive plan. They would have put the specifications for the trail.
yeah. But we are very concerned about the walking on the streets, and I mean, that is not, kids on their scooters after school, just up and down the streets. I mean, it's a nice.
Well, yeah, I just speak to that for a moment. Airport Road, right best be considered an extension of the Autobahn, the way people fly up and down that road. And you
That's for
probably
sure.
noticed that as well as what I have over the years. I mean, at 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, people just take that as the beginning. And it's, as much as they can get it up, there they go. And I think a lot of what you may be seeing is the frustration over the years of not being able to use that, finding a place now that looks, by comparison, very safe. So go there as opposed to out on the road, take your life in your hands on Airport Road.
Yeah, anybody who lives right in that general area on Airport Road would probably,
Yeah, I mean, if you want, if you're looking
Love the
for
idea of
a
being
place to
able to
walk
safely
with
walk your dog.
some chance of survival,
Yeah.
that's it. Airport Road is not conducive to a long life by any means. So,
It's technically still a public
you know,
road.
and as far as the kids are concerned, I would rather have a kid on a scooter going through where you are located as opposed to getting out on the roadway in terms of Airport Road, definitely. And if I was a parent, I'd probably be directing him in that direction.
Well, kids on the road, to me, is a worry, because they're just usually chatting and so on and so forth.
Well, yeah, that they can be distracted. but-
Walking with a, you know, a little one on a tricycle and then having two dogs, and then you turn around and say, I come up and ask them, are you, you know, a guest? No, I'm not. Well, you really shouldn't be walking on the road. And it's just like, I'll keep walking on the road. So,
Public has
we don't know
access.
whether we should call up the police and say, listen, we got somebody here that's not listening.
Public has access to your road.
Yeah, even if it's private.
Anybody in the
is
public
still-
has access to it.
yeah. I have a copy of that email that the chief provided,
Lucas,
yeah.
yeah.
So, Chief of Police actually weighed in on the subject of private roads, and he said, as far as the police are concerned, private roads are considered to be a quote-unquote way, and then he gave the definition from the state of what a way is, and ways include private roads that are laid out, which is exactly what yours is.
Ins and
And the
outs.
reason why they consider that, why it's important to law enforcement, he gave like 4 or 5 court case examples where, guess what they were doing? Drunk driving and trying to get out from underneath the charge. They were charged with drunk driving. They went and they appealed it on the basis of trying to say, well, we were on a public street. And I was actually surprised. I read some of those cases. Some of them, one of them was, it was a beach resort community, and there was a gated road. And a guy went in there, and he was just driving around the parking lot, and he was very, very intoxicated, and he was causing a problem. So the attendant in the shack called the police. The police came, and he was 2 sheets to the wind. He was charged, but then he tried to appeal it. He lost.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You bring up an interesting point, because I understood there was supposed to have been some access restrictions, some sort of a key fob or a badge or something accessing the property when this thing first went through. It was going to be something to limit access to it.
That was at it was in one of
Yeah,
the
it's preliminary.
preliminary designs, but it never went forward.
Never went forward.
Never
Okay,
went forward
all
to
right.
the definitive design, because the issue that you have with those gates, you know, basically if you have a gated community, which you could have, and if you have a gated community, that's one of the ways of restricting
Oh, yeah,
access.
yeah, we talked about it.
But the problem with the gated communities are when you need emergency services, if they don't have access to it, you know, they end up busting down the gate or something, and then you got that at the expense of repairing a gate.
I think in the higher end communities, they actually have some sort of a system where the emergency response vehicles have some kind of signal that
Right.
when they drive up, it automatically opens
Opens
the
the
gate.
door,
But
yeah.
that adds a lot of extra costs, and
Yeah.
oftentimes
Right.
developers don't want to.
And then you also got you also got the problems when you have Amazon or FedEx or UPS or anybody else that tries to deliver something. If they can't get in, they're gonna just drive away.
Or leave it at the gate.
Yeah, or leave your packages at the gate. So,
Yeah, we talked about saying, geez, if we could make that a dead end, that would solve a lot of the car issues.
Yeah.
You know,
We
and we
talked
do
about
have the
that too. We
extra
said-
parking up at the other end.
So the
where they could
problem
do
with
a
that, if you
turnaround.
wanted to make it a dead end, is you'd have to put a cul-de-sac at the end, and now you can't do it because of the way that everything's laid out. You don't even have the room.
If I may, then your signs, I think, as we've been mentioning or discussing here, are inappropriate in terms of where they're saying no trespassing. And again, I think they're also inappropriate in terms of their location.
Mr. Clark, could you show the board on your phone? You said you've got a picture of the signs, I think?
Yeah.
Is it By the church?
It says private community, no trespassing, speed limit 15 miles an hour. And I don't know how you can enforce any of that, quite honestly.
So, yeah, I'm gonna pass this around to the other board members, but I'm looking at this, I'm thinking both of these signs should go. Show it to Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we picked that sign,
Yeah.
we were thinking of cars, not of people,
Wow.
because the traffic was very heavy.
Well, it says right below it, non-resident dogs not allowed.
No, that was an
Renting cars
add-on.
then.
Step one was the 2 signs on the entry, step 2 was the dog signs.
Right, so, so we've discussed this already, and the plan was to, I guess, put together a letter and send a letter to you. You are the president of the homeowners association.
Yeah,
Send a letter to you requesting that you remove the signs. We request it tonight. Are you gonna take the signs down?
well, I'll take it back to the board and explain, show them all this information and explain your position on that.
Okay, because I believe, I'm not speaking out of bounds here by saying the position of the board is we want the signs removed, and if you don't remove the signs, then we're gonna probably consult legal counsel, town council, and see what our choices are, see who our heavy hitters are that can go up there and take the signs down for you.
Okay?
Not to put too, I'm not trying to be meanie, I'm just saying,
Well, you've made it pretty clear that this was well thought out before even the builder took on, and we had no clue. I mean, literally no clue. And we've had, gosh, myself and other board members who have lived in other communities 55 plus, and we never dealt with that kind of issue of public access. So we're kind of coming from normally this is the way it runs, and here it's different. So, don't worry.
It wouldn't have been if the developer didn't want the density bonus. If the developer did not want the density bonus, if he didn't want the extra 1 or 2 houses that he got for putting the walking
Yeah,
trail
yeah.
in, then you wouldn't have these problems.
Yeah,
but you also wouldn't have the walking trail, and there are, correct me if I'm wrong, there are residents in the condo complex that use the walking trail, correct?
oh yeah, of course we do.
Right,
we
and
do.
enjoy it, so
Yeah.
I think you take the good with the bad, it's like, oh, we have to share our walking trail with the public.
Yeah.
We're not crazy about it, but at least we have a walking trail.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, no worry, we'll take it down.
Okay,
I'm not gonna argue about that.
well, thank you very much for coming in.
Hopefully, just so you're aware, the last thing that the builder had talked about doing was basically fixing a lot of cracks in our driveways and seal coating. And I was under the impression that he'd be, saying he was complete at that point, and we were hoping he does. So,
Well, we're keeping an eye on that clock that's ticking.
well, it's a 2-year clock, unfortunately.
Right, right.
Yeah, he's got a,
But I thought that, it's funny because I think that language was put in law if you're an active builder. In other words, I'm building, I'm trying to finish my project, I can't get it done, and all of a sudden, the state says, oh, you got 2 years of grace.
You make a good
But he's-
point.
But he's got, good, I can keep working.
Yeah.
He's done. And he could sit around for 2 years not saying he's done? I don't know. I don't know if that would be,
can I ask you, sir, at the end of the, at the end of the road behind Mr. Clark's house, I don't know how to describe it any better than that, it's basically a dead end. Was there ever a cul-de-sac built there, a circle of asphalt?
no, not a circle, it's just an extra, I think, 3 spots, 3 parking spots. Where, for people visiting and they don't want to park in the street, they can park in this thing, it's like it's like a little kick out.
Because I believe I remember that in the definitive plan that we approved, that was supposed to be a cul-de-sac there, so that when the cars went
Well-
down the street, they could turn around.
Okay, I don't know how that would have worked, other than having a cul-de-sac and still a tie into Dudley Hill Road.
No, it was
To make
just
it a
supposed to be a
I thought
cul-de-sac.
there was a house that was right there that was gonna be part of that.
No,
That wasn't part of it officially.
That's on, their driveway is on that street, but there's 3 houses, I believe, on each side of the street there. And at the end of the street, there was supposed to be a cul-de-sac, from what I could remember.
Well, Mr. Horn, I would say if that is the case, that is something that
Then the
definitely is not gonna fall through the cracks on peer review.
The developer's not done if you put in a cul-de-sac and it called for one.
Still got 2 years.
Doesn't show up on the drawing.
And the other things, and as long as Mr. Clark is still recused, and he's here as a butter, just mention that this was the document that Braden had found. And we couldn't find a copy of this in our files, right? Or did you find that? Where did you end up finding this in the end? Because I noticed it's recorded.
Yeah, somewhere on the computer, actually.
I was on a computer.
Probably.
But that first highlighted section here, which is in your binder, you could take it home. In the design of this tree planting landscaping plan, show a suitable buffer between the roadway that enters and exits on Airport Road and the property at 65 and 67 Airport Road. You have to figure me, I don't remember where you, is that either of those you?
Yep, 65.
Okay, so it's in the decision that was recorded at the registry.
No, that hasn't happened.
Right. But to your point,
Yeah.
when we originally had this discussion,
Yeah.
I didn't think I saw it on the definitive plan, so that's why I had a concern about if it was promised to you, we needed something that showed that, oh, well, here it is. Here's your smoking gun, so to speak.
Yeah, well, the contractor in question is a way of ignoring smoking guns. It seems, at least that I've seen anyway. And he's
gonna want
I don't
his
want to
money
use
back.
a pejorative term, but I would say a slick character. He will freely admit that he's been doing these kinds of things for years, and he knows every trick. And he'll use them to the nth degree.
Cash bond?
I wish you well.
Originally.
Regardless, it's gonna cost him money not to finish this.
So, I have seen the bond, and I
Okay.
have seen the drawings related to the bond. And we also feel we're missing stop signs, speed limit signs. I mean, there's a lot of things that weren't done that showed up on that bond document.
What's the amount of the bond? Is it $100,000?
The bond itself?
Yeah,
$494,
494,000.
yes.
There you go. So,
Yeah.
that's a significant chunk of change.
So the board, we have actually prepared, a letter to submit to you once the builders were, things are done. And we want to share with you what we see as a lot of things that weren't done properly, and hopefully we can get support to
The builder
fix them.
hasn't said anything to us yet that he's completed. Because when he does, that's when we would send our consultant town engineer out, and he would go and inspect everything, and he would inspect it to the definitive plan. So if there was anything missing from the definitive plan to what is built, that's when he would come back to us with the laundry list of what needs to be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, I mean, there was a fence right along the
It's
entrance.
supposed to have been a fence there, though.
Fences, there's a lot. And then, of course, there's other issues. I won't get into that at this point, but, all right, well, thank you very much. This will help me
Okay.
at least explain this. Still worried about liabilities, but we'll see. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Yes. Watch out for that Yorkie.
Yeah.
All right, back to the agenda. All right. SCP Solar Oxford Ave, we've got nothing new there. Stevens Mill, nothing new to report, that they did go before conservation this evening.
They had a big groundbreaking. It was in the paper.
Yeah, to build a roof.
They raised the roof, literally. I
I
don't
saw
know.
the picture.
Yeah, I mean, you could look up from the ground and you could look through the third floor windows and you could see the sky.
Really?
Yeah, they've torn off not just the top coat, it's the decking.
It's gone.
Yeah, and apparently, I think I read somewhere in that
But they're rebuilding it with
they're bringing up, yeah, some expensive lumber from down south from, I think it's reclaimed from another mill maybe or something. Yeah, that they want to try and,
South Carolina mill that fell through.
yeah, I don't know, I don't know about that, but
Well, that is encouraging.
maybe with the cost of lumber being what it is, it might actually be cheaper to,
Yeah, at the end of the day, use
Yeah.
a reclaimed
Um,
brand new.
but things are moving forward. They had they were on the conservation agenda this evening, and so, something going on anyway. The solar project at the landfill, we have nothing new there. Okay, Dudley Housing Authority. So we talked about Dudley Housing Authority. We were like, well, what's left to be done there? What's going on with that? So I did a little bit of homework on that. And I reached out to so in this particular case, Graves Engineering is not doing the peer review because Graves Engineering is the engineer of record for the Dudley Housing Authority. And I reached out to, initially Jeff Walsh, and he put me in touch with Michael Andrade, who is also at Graves Engineering, and he's the one on this project. And we talked about it. Initially, he thought that everything had been done and had been certified as completed. And I explained to him, I said, that's because the new director who came in, he sent us something that he had from the state, saying that it was done. And we kind of explained that, well, no, we have to know for sure that it's done. We can't take their word for it.
Right, but we hired a consultant town engineer to do that.
We did, and he hasn't been out there in a long time. So here's, in my discussion with Mr. Andrade over at Graves, he told me he'll go out there and take a look and make sure that everything is done before we go through the trouble of sending peer review back out there. So his email to me says, "Hi Steve, I stopped by the site yesterday." Oh, this is dated, just so you guys know, in case you're curious, September 25th. Stopped by the site yesterday and noted that the site is adequately vegetated and stabilized. See attached photos. I instructed the housing authority to cut the infiltration basin vegetation down and maintain it more routinely as it is currently somewhat overgrown. There were 3 photographs attached to this, and I don't know why, but when my printer printed it, it didn't want to do the photos. But I also went out there in person myself and looked at the same thing he looked at. It does, there's no more bare soil being eroded away. It's all grown. If anything, it's, like he said, it's more overgrown.
Yeah.
But it's overgrown in an area where it's where the water's supposed to go anyways. So it's not, it might be unsightly, but it's not a bad thing. But I would say at this time, it would be appropriate for us to, I guess we could send the peer review engineer back out there
And just have him give a final report.
and just have him give a final,
Yep.
yeah, and then go from there. So,
Do you want a motion?
Do they have money left in their escrow?
well, that's the other issue. There's 0 money left
Yeah,
in
that's
that
what I
account.
thought.
So
So we have to have them pay.
we'd have to have them pay. But since we don't even know what it's gonna cost for the engineer to go out there, my thinking was, we have the engineer go out there, do the,
He's not gonna do it for free.
no, but he doesn't bill us till later, and then when the bill comes in, we informed the Dudley Housing Authority. Well, how do you wanna handle it? Or do you wanna send a letter to the director of the Dudley Housing Authority and say, we need you to put some money in the account because we wanna certify this is, because he was CC'd on this, and, I think he's still, under the impression like, oh, we're done, there's nothing left we have to do.
I mean,
Who's he, the Dudley Housing Authority Director?
Yeah, his name is Jeremiah. Actually, I don't have it on this email, it was on one of the other ones.
We like the state and do it ourselves and charge them 3 times the amount.
Yeah,
This would be, I would suspect this would be a minimal amount. I mean,
It's gonna be $500
$500
if you
that's
send
all.
the
right, just to
engineer.
show up,
Yeah,
but I mean, it's not
$500
gonna
to
be
show
any
up, take
more
a
than
couple
whatever the
pictures, and write
minimum
a
is, because
report.
it's just, you're looking at grass farm, basically, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's either there or it's not there.
Well,
You're
why
looking
don't
at
we do
overgrown
this?
grass.
Why don't we call our peer review engineer for the project and ask him,
Get
what
an
are we looking
estimate.
at? What's he gonna invoice us for to do this?
Yeah, ask them for an estimate and then send
Get
it
a
to the
number.
housing authority.
And see if they're willing to pay it. If they're not, then I don't think we should make a bill for them that
Right.
they don't necessarily have.
My
to
only
pay.
concern is if they say, well, we're not gonna pay it, then we're back in this limbo, which is what we're trying to get out of.
Right.
We're
Right.
trying
Take this
to
off.
get this off the books. We're trying to get it to the point where Nelson can certify this is.
Well, then we just take Graves' word for it. I mean, like, we have no reason to believe that they would lie to us.
I was thinking that already. I mean, like I said, I know you think, well, they're not lying to us. I went up there, and I invite any of you guys, just take a ride up there, take a look at it. Why don't we do that? Why don't we just have, between now and our next meeting, why don't all the board members at some point take a couple minutes, drive up there, look around, and see if you see any glaring issues? I know we're not site professionals, but I mean, we already had the previous report from the peer review, who said the only thing that was left was that there was some soil that had, there's some areas that were loomed and the seed hadn't taken. And so they were concerned about erosion, and I think you can take a look at it now, and those concerns are long gone. So, why don't we do that? Because then we don't even have to deal with sending the peer review engineer out, trying to draw blood from a stone. And then if we all decide that, that's what we wanna do,
Yeah, I mean,
then we
that's-
can just instruct the building inspector to issue a
Completion?
certificate of compliance, right?
Yeah, it's cheaper and easier for
Yeah.
us, the town.
Okay,
This was just a parking lot, right?
yeah.
That's all it was, right?
And it wasn't even a full parking lot,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
like half of
adding
it.
on to an existing
Yeah.
parking lot. It was a pretty simple project. So,
I can take it right out there for sure.
okay, all right, so that's what we'll do. We'll all go take a look at it, and then we'll talk about it next month. If everybody's if we all concur that it's satisfactorily completed, we'll forego sending the engineer back out there, and we'll just instruct the building inspector that the planning board believes a issuance of a certificate of compliance would be in order for this site plan. And then we can take that one off the list.
Well,
I know
then-
Mr. Clark loves it when we take one off the list.
It's a rare occasion, Mr. Chairman, it's a rare
Well,
occasion.
didn't we have that problem with the solar company on Oxford Ave? All we were waiting for is grass.
That's the one I want, it's funny you should
Oh,
mention that,
SCP
because
solar.
that's the one I wanna go after next.
Yeah.
So, just like with this one, made some calls and everything, that's
think
what I
that's
would like
all we were
to.
looking at
SCP
there.
solar.
That's another one I
Grass
think we can
growing.
probably, it might end up being a similar situation. It might be done.
But they may have, anyways, they probably still have money in the account to pay for a final inspection.
Right, that one will be
They definitely
easier.
do.
It'll just be a matter of a few phone calls, make sure everybody's, if they're saying, oh yeah, we're ready, we would just, we just overlooked it. Forgot to ask you guys to send somebody out and do a peer review. Okay, so that was Dudley Housing Authority. Okay, next item up is a request for reduction or release of surety, Nichols College Townhomes. I had Braden add this to the agenda because we received an email from, was it Vice President of Operations?
Bob Levine?
Bob Levine up at Nichols. And he, I guess initially he came in to the accountant and wanted to see if he could get the surety released on the townhome project. Because he
It
said,
never went forward.
well, we're not gonna do the townhome project, so can I just get a check or something to that effect? And she quickly explained that that's not how it works. So then he came up and spoke to you, Braden?
You never spoke to me. I just got all this relief from the accountant. I sent him the email with the.
Oh, you sent them, and then you sent them the paperwork, told them to fill it out.
Yep.
So he fills out the paperwork and sends it back to us. The problem is, do we have it in our binders?
Yeah.
You should have the Form K.
What,
Yeah, Orange
Standard
Town,
business.
new business.
under new business?
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so take a look at his Form K. At the bottom, description of work completed since the latest reduction. This project was never approved by planning board, and Nichols College is no longer pursuing the project. I took issue with that because we did approve this.
Yeah, we definitely approved it.
Yeah, we did approve this project
Under certain,
under certain conditions. That's exactly where it gets a little bit muddy. So what ended up happening was Braden and I worked on this too. We kind of did some digging and we researched it and we found, and I actually went and looked at the meeting again to see exactly what the details
New
were.
business tab? No, it says site plans.
maybe it's yellow for you.
Oh, green, sorry.
You colorblind?
It's just the colors, you can't match them up, man.
Okay, so,
We're holding $2,409.
yeah, we're holding $2,409.76 that he wants released. So the issue was, when I went back and looked at the vote that we took, I might not have been on the board at that point, but regardless,
You were.
it was approved, conditioned on a couple of small things and one large one, which was at the time, the sale of that lot that they were acquiring hadn't gone through.
And I don't think they ever got it.
And the deal was, they were supposed to leave here, because they said that they were in the midst of that, wasn't gonna be taking too long to close, and they were gonna come back and show Bill Scanlon the deed, proving that they had acquired the property, and then they would be good to go.
Never happened.
Never happened. Just for the heck of it, I checked on the registry of deeds, and oddly enough, they just acquired it like this past June or July.
$345,000 or something.
Yeah, yeah, so.
So they did get it.
So they
School
did get
acquired
it. Yeah, so it's not just a matter of that he's asking for the release and saying that it's because we didn't approve it, which is not true. But also, it's a matter of, well, technically, we approved it conditional on them acquiring that lot and a couple of the small things. Why are we releasing this unless we're going to make a stipulation saying that we're releasing this with the understanding that if they do decide to come back and do this project or revive this project,
They're starting over.
they're starting over.
Yeah.
That's what I wanna make sure.
Yeah.
Because Braden, didn't he say,
He said to me over the phone, I did eventually speak with him after he submitted this, and I checked with him to make sure that it, wasn't approved by us, which we know it was. And he said that, well, maybe we'll revisit it in the future, but for right now, we're not going to pursue this project.
right? I don't want him coming back and revisiting it with the same application with no money in the account.
Well, he'd have to start over because he had no money in the account
Why
anyways.
don't we rescind our approval?
Oh, we could do that. Yeah,
And then
that
release the
works, because
funds.
then, that essentially, now we're doing exactly what he was claiming we did, which is not approve it.
So rescind
So moved.
the approval and then.
Can we do that? Is this on the agenda?
Back his money.
Yep, we added it to the agenda, so, do you wanna clean up that motion, or?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we rescind the definitive approval for the Nichols College Townhome project that was granted. And does anybody know when we granted that?
So, it was 2021,
This is,
2022, because that was my first
previous
meeting.
Nichols administration, that may be why this thing has changed. They have a new president.
Yeah.
It's the same vice president. That was,
What's that?
it's the same Bob Levine. He's the same.
Right,
he's
but I
still there.
mean, the guy
Yeah.
making the decisions, it's,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I don't see anything here. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Plans and documents submitted for support of applications. Cover letter dated May 24th, 2022. Site plan review,
Good memory.
applications.
First meeting. Don't wanna forget that one.
okay.
Construction activities, decisions and conditions. At its meeting of November 9th, 2022, after due consideration of the exhibits submitted, the entire record of proceedings introduced and accepted in this matter, the Dudley Planning Board, on a motion by Mr. Wetruba, oh, I guess I was on the board, seconded by Mr. Chinaki, voted 5-0 to approve the application, approve is in capital letters, for major site plan review with conditions. And then the conditions were
A lot.
plant abrevieties, a guardrail,
The lights or something, there's a bunch on there.
acquisition of 99 Center Road, and the project engineer shall revise it. There was a table that needed revision, which was, that's small potatoes. But it was the big thing was acquisition of 99 Center Road, which they did, so, all right. So, we've got a motion to, oh, actually, you were looking for the date, so you could,
Yeah, so.
so
What was the date again? You just read it? It was
I just had it.
November 9th,
Yeah.
2022.
November 9th, 2022.
Yeah, so add in the date of November 9th, 2022 to that rescission.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous.
I think it was all the same people, so.
Right.
We need a motion to release the money?
Right.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion to release $2,409.76 to Nichols College from the, this is a surety release regarding the townhome project, which is now dead.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous. So, Brady, you're gonna make sure the minutes reflect that we made a vote, that we rescinded the approval, and then we voted that we are granting the release, and then you can bring that to the town accountant and start that whole process.
Gotcha.
Okay? All right, back to the agenda.
Here's the patient already.
What's that?
I think our last guest is arrived on the agenda.
Oh, yes, next up, accessory dwelling unit bylaw. All right. Thank you for being so patient.
Well, glad to be here. I thought the first time we met, you had mentioned coming every month, so I took you seriously.
Okay, no, we like it.
Okay.
It's great. So I did start to go through some of the email that and some of the documents you sent.
Need to overwhelm you with that?
It was a lot to digest, so I will be the first to admit that I started getting a little bleary-eyed looking at it all. But it seems like what you did essentially is you crafted the language that we need to put into our current zoning bylaws.
Yes,
And then you found some language in our current zoning bylaws that we're gonna have to strike because it's problematic. Would that be?
correct. There's
Okay.
some sections that might conflict with the ADU bylaw.
Mm-hmm.
So in some cases, what I recommended is that we just add language saying, except for protected use ADUs.
Okay,
So, if a dwelling unit requires 2 parking spaces, but you can't do that for ADUs, then you would want to say in the parking section of the bylaws, except for protected use ADUs.
okay,
Just to cover yourself and to ensure there's no conflict.
okay. So do we have that in our binders, the paperwork that she's, the,
I actually did not receive that email.
Really?
So I don't have that paperwork.
Yeah, I don't think I read that.
okay. All right, so we're kind of at a loss tonight because we didn't,
Okay.
um,
Maybe I can ask a few questions?
yeah, that would be great.
So I was recommending that that bylaw be put in section 3.16, which is let me see. It will be the next numbered section. Is it under special regulations or?
Subdivision.
We have our subdivision regs, we don't have the zoning bylaws.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't be in the use by district chart, the 2.3? Because that's where it's saying that it's not allowed, isn't it?
Correct. And it also has the use table.
Yeah.
Has accessory apartments under accessory uses. I'm recommending that that be deleted and that the protected use ADUs and the local ADUs go in the residential section.
Okay,
Sense.
So if you wanna look that
What section
over.
was this again?
What's that?
What section do you reference again? 3.16.
1.6. It doesn't exist. I'm
Doesn't exist.
proposing that we create
Oh.
it for the ADU bylaw.
So all I would be seeing is what it is currently.
So I am looking at, just one moment.
So you went through the entire zoning bylaw to see what
Yes.
might be in conflict? Okay, well, that was a thorough job.
It was, yeah, it was a little bit of an endeavor.
yeah, and then I think she said like our entire zoning bylaw untouched in another document. So then you're like switching back and forth between, I'm looking at, trying to see if it says, okay, well, she says this has to be stricken or this is being added. I'm going over here and looking at the other one and that's when it started to get like.
Yeah, one was a comment sheet.
Yeah.
And then one was the bylaws with my comments directly added to it.
Okay,
And then there was the actual ADU bylaw.
gotcha.
And I tried putting it, if it's in section 3.16, if you like that area, I formatted it by how the rest of your zoning bylaws are numbered and lettered, so with subsections.
Is this email just sent to the chairman, or?
Yeah, I'm looking right now to see, David, why you didn't get
I
it.
thought I saw something.
Yeah, I did
When I was
send
down in Florida,
some information. It was a webinar.
Yeah.
It was held, what was that, last week or so?
Yes,
I
Thursday
did-
last week.
Then we had the documentation from Anthony that he sent out, and I copied the members. But I'll be honest with you, that wasn't until today that I passed, moved that along, so. And I doubt anyone's had a chance to look at it yet.
Yeah, all right, so,
But that was not specific to Dudley, that was general information.
the
Correct.
email that you had sent with all the documents attached that I was just referencing was only sent to Richard and myself. So, I can literally forward this to you guys now.
So section 3 is the special use regulations, where it has subsections for the conservation district, floodplain district, home occupations, wind energy, open space residential development, swimming pool regulations, et cetera, milk conversion overlay district, scenic roads, solar, cemeteries, medical and adult use marijuana, which is 3.15. So the very next available section number would be 3.16,
Okay.
which is where.
After the marijuana.
Yeah, right after the marijuana is where, if there's another section that you think is more appropriate, we can just read it.
Is the adult, this is a weird question, but is the adult entertainment section also under there, like higher up?
No.
Is that in your general bylaws or your zoning?
I thought that it was in the zoning.
It might be general, though.
I remember
Yeah, it
we-
could be zone,
we
it
put
could be
that in
for
a few-
zoning
We
districts.
put that in a few years ago, and I thought that it had its own section, but I don't remember where we put it.
Might just be in these by district chart.
Town disposal, refuse.
There's only a very small portion of it.
Yeah, it's like 130,
Floodplain district.
industrial 130.
Yeah, light industrial.
Off of 131, there's a whole complex that's allowed, that's it.
For adult entertainment, no, they got the, over by Center Road. Anywhere that's a 131, because there was that guy that was during the whole chicken thing, that had chickens, he said he could have chickens and salt pot and have adult entertainment at the same time on his property.
Stripping chickens.
Well, he couldn't have chickens because it's not allowed in industrial zones.
There was a temporary moratorium, let me see, but I don't know what that one was in regards to. I don't know if that could have been the adult use.
I forwarded it to all of you, so. But it's gonna probably take a while to go through it, and
But we could get,
Yeah.
we could get back to her on our own and just send her emails with our comments, right?
right,
So that you don't have to wait
Yeah,
until the
as
next.
long as you don't, reply to all,
Yeah, we could
maybe
just
just
send,
send it to Steve and.
yeah, or just send it back, send the comments back to you individually.
Sure, that's
well, I
fine.
think what we had decided last time was we were gonna send all comments to Braden and let
Okay.
Braden do it, that way we could avoid any,
Okay.
Yeah.
open meeting law
foreign
violations.
issues, Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Cause you could accidentally hit reply all, not, and
Yeah.
next thing you know, it's like, oh.
Yep.
Now, Braden is conservation.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
You don't have they haven't given you one with your own name?
Well, any, like, full town employee, like, there's building 1, building 2, assessor 1, planner 1. I'm conservation.
Conservation, all right,
I was gonna bring that up, actually, during board member comments, that we should probably have a planner email for him too.
Yeah.
Because we had, Tom's mom came in confused about Steve's, email to conservation. And it wasn't the planning board thing, it was a conservation thing.
Yeah, problem is, now we also have so many applicants that know to send it to conservation, but I
That's
guess
the problem too.
we would have to keep,
Well,
he's gonna
has
still
them.
monitor
Yeah.
conservation for conservation, so if he sees something coming
Yeah.
for planning related stuff, he could just forward it to himself over at Planner. I thought we had a Planner 1 and Planner 2 already.
There is a planner one. I don't know.
Planner 1's supposed to be for the town planner, so we probably wanna keep that for the town planner.
Right, yeah.
But I don't remember if there was a Planner 2. I'll tell you right now, I bet you, cause if I start to type it in, it'll probably autofill it for me.
I know, Duvo, back in the day, she was conservation, so.
Cause I know there's building 1 and building 2, cause the building department has the building inspector and then there's the clerk, right? I think, so.
That's another day thing.
No, I have only ever had correspondence to and from Planner 1, so. But I'm sure it's simple enough, we just make the request and they could probably create Planner 2. Or better yet, how about Planner Clerk? Right?
Yeah, there you go.
So then you're not getting
Make it
confused. with
common
zoning
Right,
sense.
exactly.
Planning clerk.
Okay, so, well, where were we on the agenda here? Like David said, he wanted to bring it up during public comment.
Sorry, man.
I mean, it's one of good comments. That's okay. So we're doing the ADU thing. So, do you have anything else? I feel bad because we're not really prepared.
I just included a few comments in the margin for the draft bylaw. If you're gonna wonder why I added a table from Grafton, they decided to put their parking for ADUs in a table format. So I'm just giving you the option of whether you want it spelled out or in the table.
Okay.
And then there's a few sections that I think should be crossed out or deleted when it references dimensional requirements for the single-family residential dwellings or for accessory structures. I'm recommending that we delete the reference to accessory structures, as you don't have a separate section for dimensional regulations for those.
Right.
They're all in one section. So, I mean, just technical little changes.
And I thought I remembered reading something about, if it's the, accessory use is in the main building, that something about only wanting to have it appear from the street as if it was only one unit.
But accessory dwelling units per the state statute and regulations.
Yeah, we can't have that, right?
It can be attached, it can be detached, it can be within the existing principal dwelling.
But can we require it to still look like, no, we can't, right? So
So
is
we-
that something else we should be deleting?
We should strike that part
Yeah.
of our, so you have already done that in our zoning bylaw?
Let me pull up that document.
I remembered reading, I just don't remember whether or not it was in the list of things you were striking, or,
Yeah, because I do remember what Trob was saying, that there is something in there that you can have multiple units in a single dwelling, but they don't want it to look like, they don't want it to look like a duplex, it has to look like a single-family home.
If I can find that section.
We have a unit like that on, I think it's Tanyard Road they built, and all they did was put a little porch on the front with one door, and inside, you go inside the little porch, and then there's two doors.
two doors, yeah.
I will have to find where that section is. There were some notes under, or footnotes under the use table too, so I had recommended some changes, because there was one for accessory apartments, and I changed that to reflect the accessory dwelling units. There's also, the use of the term gross habitable space. in
Okay.
One of those footnotes for the, and with the state law and regulations, they refer to gross floor area, and they have a very specific definition for it. So I was thinking, when we're referring to accessory dwelling unit, we should use the same terminology that the state uses, so there's no,
You want the commonality, so it's not.
right.
Yeah.
I wonder where that even came from, gross habitable space.
It's probably before our time.
Or they're trying to exclude space like basements and garages?
Or porches, attics, yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
just a notation that the ADUs cannot have a minimum lot area requirement. Yes, you can still have it for primary dwellings or duplexes or commercial buildings or whatever, but not for ADUs. Because it says, the following standards shall apply to all uses, structures, and lots within the town of Dudley, except where exempted or otherwise restricted. And so I was recommending that this is one of the spots where you say, including, or with the exemption being for protected use ADUs.
But they still have to meet the setback requirements, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so that kind of limits it. I mean,
Right.
the lot can only be so small before they run into a problem where the
Right.
building's too close to the line or too close to the other building.
yes,
Right, okay.
that would still
And they
apply.
couldn't get a variance.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, but not by right. is
Right,
what my
yeah.
point, yeah.
I think that's probably it for tonight. I'll just wait for comments back from everyone and make
Okay.
some revisions.
Can I ask, are you handling the ADUs for all of the towns within Central Mass Regional Planning?
Not all of them.
Not
Some
all
of
of
them did their own, some of them were not ready to move forward with it. I think we have about 14 or 15 towns we're working with.
Okay, do you know how many already have an ADU bylaw in place?
There are a handful of them that have already drafted theirs and brought them to town meeting. And I'm trying to remember, did I send you a link to the Attorney General's office, their municipal law unit webpage, or MLU? That is where the Attorney General's office will publish their letters
No,
after reviewing any
Okay.
zoning or general bylaws. And so you can search either by town or by topic, and if you go by ADUs, you can see how the Attorney General has been reviewing and responding.
Okay.
So
And I find it really helpful to be able to see, oh, it's just a quick change in terminology and they're fine with it.
So the towns that already drafted theirs and are ready to send it to town meeting, they've already gone through being cleared by the Attorney General's office?
I have seen very few that have been 100% cleared, and part of that is because there were several communities who drafted bylaws last fall before the EOHLC regulations
Okay,
were released, and so they did not have the benefit of seeing the regulations and all the guidelines and the do's and don'ts of drafting the bylaw. And earlier on, when the law was first passed, they were saying that ADUs were allowed by right on a single family or a single family lot. Well, now they're saying it's a lot with a principal dwelling, so there could be a duplex on the lot or a triple decker on the
Right.
lot. But we don't know which one is the principal dwelling. It could be the larger of the two.
right. That was
Um,
like the thing we were talking about, that if it's a zone that single family is the permissible use,
Correct.
then automatically that zone would qualify for an ADU,
Right,
a lot in that zone.
right, but that doesn't mean that's.
Doesn't mean it has to be a single family.
Sitting on the lot right now.
Right. Okay,
So, yeah, a lot of the earlier ones had, just, a lot of them said, at least one parking space, and the state said, no. If it's within a half mile of a transit station, you can't require any, and if it's more than a half mile, you can only require one. And so just the technicality of them saying at least one, is like, no, it's just one.
are the majority of the towns that are drafting their bylaw right now, are they going with the state limits on size of the ADU? Or are they allowing larger? Because you can't make it smaller, you can't say it has to be smaller. You have to do at least
Right.
the state, or you could say,
So it's 900 square feet or 1/2 the floor area of the principal dwelling.
right,
So if your principal dwelling is only 1,500 square feet, then your ADU can only be 750 square
right,
feet.
so are there any towns that said 1,200 feet? Or
Not for protected use. The ones I'm working with have stayed with the 900 for the protected use, and then if you want any additional ones, or if you want a larger one,
Yeah.
up to 1,200, then you need a special permit.
Okay. All right, does the board have any other questions for, no? Okay.
All right.
All right, well,
Thank you so
thanks
much.
again for coming by,
You're welcome.
and now we all have
Homework.
homework.
All right.
Come up with what we can.
Have a good night.
We gotta wrap up soon before Mr. Clark leaves us.
Yeah. Players plate.
Okay, so, planner's plate, there's nothing there.
How is that, we had a brief conversation with Braden earlier in regards to, as I recall, the last meeting, there was some thought that there were applicants, viable applicants, waiting in the wings?
Well, let's do that under comments.
Okay, all right.
Comments from the planning board. Go ahead, Mr. Clark.
Just to mention that the town meeting is October 20th. We don't have anything specifically on the agenda, but certainly want to show up and find out what other people's wishes are and what is
Okay.
approved and what isn't.
Right. And then the thought you had about, you were asking about the applicants. So
Yeah.
my understanding is they had the first round of interviews.
Yep.
And they have not, as far as I know, Braden, they haven't scheduled the second.
They will not be scheduling a second round of interview with the current applicants.
Okay, so
Oh.
there you go.
So, my understanding of it,
One and done?
This is, our town administrator and their town administrator, Blackstone's town administrator doing it?
Yeah, I think actually.
Olivia, maybe?
Olivia.
Yeah, is doing it. But, my understanding was that what they were gonna do was they were gonna go through, they were gonna whittle down a list. And then the candidates that were viable enough to go through a second round of interviews, those are the ones that they would then invite in the chair of the two planning boards.
Well, what about me and Richard? We're on that,
Yeah, I would bring
hiring
it up at
committee
that
thing,
time.
remember?
I can't even get in there, so, and the point, and to the point we just made, nobody made it past the first round.
Yeah.
So,
That bad?
not so great. I don't wanna speak out of turn, cause I don't know any of the applicants, or I don't know anything about what questions were asked, or what the qualifications were and everything, but I kind of got the idea that it might be a lot of people fresh out of school, fresh, new degrees, not enough experience type of situation. Which makes sense. You think about it, a lot of veteran planners, they're probably gonna look for towns with larger budgets, bigger salaries.
Well,
Yeah, or part-time.
Honestly, what we probably wanna try and find is the situation we had with Mr. Scanlon, which is somebody who is.
Or take a kid out of school and give him a chance.
Yeah, they have to get a job somewhere.
They don't get experience without trying. I mean, I think our assistant town administrator didn't have a lot of experience. and
That's true.
She's-
And was still working on a degree when she came on
Yeah,
board.
she's an assistant town administrator. I think we could get a planner in that.
Well, at the rate we're going, he might have been here long enough clerking for us.
I'll throw an application out, let you know.
Well,
You just stick the word interim in front of your name and that's okay. So you're the interim town planner. You don't have to have any
For 10 years.
qualifications, right?
Well,
Interim town planner.
a lot of it is knowing, the area and the local dynamics, if you will, and, who's on first and who's on second, so to speak.
I mean, you don't have to
You
know-
already have acquired some of that. I mean, you know where the restrooms are in the building, which somebody coming in off the street wouldn't, so you're a step ahead of them
You don't
there.
have to know everything. You just have to know where to ask the right questions.
That's probably it, yeah.
I remember years ago, we had a planner, I don't recall her name, but I remember she was fairly, she was younger, and she came out of college, and she had a lot of really bright ideas about things that we could do here in Dudley, and a lot of them went over like a lead balloon, because they were pretty progressive for like areas out near Boston and that, but she thought maybe that would be something that you could make work in this town. And now I think about some of the things she talked about, and I think, well, actually, those probably aren't that really a bad idea now.
And we probably shouldn't do it.
That brunette right before Don Johnson?
I think it was further back than that. I remember I was on the,
Laurie Cornice.
yeah, I remember.
She was our first real town planner.
Yeah, I was on the, I forgot what the committee was, the master plan, we had a master plan committee back then, believe it or not.
2020, 2010, 2000 was the last master plan.
No, this is much,
So
this
it's
is much
somewhere after
earlier.
that then.
It was
Yeah.
21 or 22. when-
Yeah, it was basically.
No, no,
basically put the-
2001 or
Put a committee
2000.
together, try and revive the master plan and do all the things in it that we never got around to doing.
Yeah.
We do have application in for funding, and I saw CMRP Representative Nimmo Brown, I forget his first name, but was asking Olivia if we had any determination yet. in terms
Yeah,
of funding.
she sent it right over to me.
And apparently that hasn't gone anywhere, so I take it from that we haven't any word, either yes or no.
Yeah.
So we're still in the game, so to speak, but
Yeah, we also have some hours banked too, that we
Yeah,
can
we
sell
do.
it with too, and that's another thing, it's like, how many hours did we have, do you remember?
24.
24
24,
hours.
25.
That's like, it's,
I thought this lady was using the, hours to do this ADU, no? We're not using the
all
hours
of
for
it.
her?
I
think
thought you
her-
were paying her.
I think her,
Pay her to do it?
her fee is covered by a grant or something.
Yeah,
like that.
no, she's not, we're not using hours for her
Yeah,
time.
she got a grant to do this.
Yeah. It is a little disturbing though, in a sense, and I don't have any particular feelings one way or another with regards to these ADUs. But I mean, the state coming in and saying, by right, you know, the local planning function is diminished to some extent when they do that, as far as these MBTA communities as well.
Oh, you've obviously never gone through a chapter 40B situation.
But, yeah, but this, you know, they're chipping away in terms of what local involvement there might be on these
You don't
things by
have
saying, this is it, you have no choice, it has to happen.
If you don't have enough housing for your,
Well, no, I'm not talking about a specific issue, I'm just talking about in general, what they're saying is, we're taking charge of this, you guys get off, you know, get out of the way, and this is the way it's gonna be. And whatever local input there might be, or one would like to have, it's irrelevant. You don't even get to ask the question, basically, it's just, that's it.
Well, that's what happens when you have legislators that are told, we have a real housing crisis, and then they wanna fix it. So then they say, well, what can we do to help with the housing crisis? And they go to the builders and developers and say, well, what's the biggest problem you have? And so, well, the cost of materials are really high, so, well, we can't fix that. Well,
Right.
what else? So, well, you know, local zoning
Yeah.
is an issue. And they say, aha,
we don't have enough buildable lots.
we can fix that.
Or we think we can fix that.
Well,
Or we can do something to it, whether that fixes it or not is another
and you can
question.
make an argument on both sides. You can, devil's advocate.
I mean,
There are many communities that have, I believe back in the day, it was considered snob zoning,
Yeah.
is what they called it, right? You know, and now that's come home to roost. You create snob zoning situations.
I don't see this being any worse than section 40B, because if a developer came in and wanted to build a section 40B subdivision, there's nothing you can say about it. They wouldn't even come to this board, they would just go to the building inspector,
Yeah.
and they would be exempt from all the rules and regulations.
Yeah.
And regardless of the impact that it
That's
may
why I
have on
made
the
that
community.
remark that I said he's obviously never been through chapter
Right.
40B.
Almost had that off a sawmill, if you remember.
Remember, of course, that sounds like a threat, Mr. Wardrobe.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know, maybe we could move the question. Is there any other comment? or
I got-
Any
I got
other
one.
It
answer?
looks like it's anxious to lend it.
I got a
Oh,
comment.
Durgan has a comment.
I guess we're not gonna talk about it, so August 13th, the vote, that tie vote that actually failed, and Guy Horn said that my vote didn't count, that vote, as we got word from the moderator, town administrator, town clerk, town council, they all say the same thing, a tie vote is a fail. So, ready to make sure the record reflects that.
Yeah, so,
That motion actually failed.
I had actually intended to bring that up, during the, right before we did the minutes. But what we'll do is, while we're still in the planning board member comments section, I'll read the, town council's email into the record. Just make sure I got the right one here. That's not it. It's the Housing Authority. It's the chief's email.
emails printed out. I don't get any emails. All I get is emails from Richard Clark over here, CMP.
No, I got like
CMP
5
RC.
copies because I printed out extra copies in case we were gonna hand them out, but they were just like the one.
Am I hear my name taken in vain again over there, Mr.
It's
Durgan?
not in vain.
Not in vain?
I get those emails, although I do get those emails, so you don't have to add me to that list.
Oh.
When you CC, or not CC, but forward the CMRPC. I'm already on their list.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well.
All right, I thought I printed it out, but apparently I didn't. Okay, there are 5 copies of too many emails we don't need tonight. So I'll sum it up this way. We received the opinion from town council regarding the situation that happened 2 months ago with the vote where I recused myself, and because there were 4 members and 2 members voted for and 2 members voted against, it was a tie. At that point, initially, Mr. Chinaki said the motion failed, but then Mr. Horn brought up what he believed to be a rule, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Horn? He believed that there was a rule that said in the case of a tie, you throw out the acting chair's vote to break the tie so that you don't end up with a deadlock. And at that point, there was a little more discussion, and then the acting chair, Mr. Durgan, he stated, according to Guy Horn, the motion passes. And then that was pretty much the end of it. That resulted in our clerk recording the vote as 2 for, 1 against. Now, we've gotten an opinion from town council informing us that that was not correct. That in the case of a tie, the motion fails. So in the future, we have any motions that we vote on that end in a 2-2, or, oh, it would only be a 2-2, a 2-2 tie, that motion will fail. So does that satisfy,
I was satisfied with my explanation, but, yeah.
okay, well, no, just to get it in the record, get it in the record, so.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to make a statement that, I want to apologize to Mr. Durgan and to the board. What I said at that meeting, I didn't just make it up. I've been on the planning board for 20 years. That only happened one other time in my career on the planning board, and that was how it was handled. So I didn't know any other way of handling it. I only gave you the information that I can remember from years ago being on the planning board and how it was handled at that time. So if it wasn't right, my apologies. I didn't mean to do anything wrong, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're all unpaid volunteers working on this board. We're not gonna be.
No one is perfect.
We're not gonna be, no one's perfect, and we're not gonna be experts on everything, but I mean.
No. And I sat right, I sat right there, because I had recused myself, and when I heard the discussion and you mentioned it, I had no reason to believe that that it wasn't the case, because my first thought was, Mr. Horn is the senior member of this board. If you count all of his years on and off the board, he has the most experience of any of us, by far, as a board member.
Well,
So-
like I said, it only happened one other time, and that's what we did at that time, so that's all I knew about it. I mean, I couldn't have made it up that fast on the fly, to be honest with you, so I was just going by memory from what we had done in the past. And if it happened once before and we did it wrong, then we did it wrong twice. So, I mean, that's all I can say. But that's what had happened in the past. So,
Okay.
Again, my apologies, I didn't mean to do it.
I didn't think there was any ill will at all, so.
I mean, it was just, what I had remembered.
No, it's
No,
good to
okay.
clear the air, though.
Because I asked Laura that question, if we have tie vote, what happens? She said it fails.
Yeah.
That's all I knew about it.
In reality, none of us are parliamentarians, we go by what we know and what we don't know sometimes.
Right.
And Robert's Rules of Order is, well, you need a special talent in terms of, wading through some of the particulars in that.
A lot of old English in that thing, huh?
Yeah, it's a fun document. I'm still waiting for the movie myself.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is if you look at how they construct boards, they always have an odd number of people. And
Yeah.
the reason being they don't wanna have tie votes, because if you continuously have tie votes, you don't move the business of the town along. And at the end of the day, that's what our job is to try to move the business of the town forward.
Well, you can go to a 7-member board.
We have a hard enough time getting 5.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, the Bay Path School Committee is 20.
20?
An even number.
Really?
10 towns, 2
Wow.
each.
Oh, okay, that's,
But do they have a chairman?
That's all.
Is the superintendent a chairman or something like that?
No,
No?
we have a chair, separate chair.
Well,
You know why? Because they have a culinary arts program and they feed these guys.
and they
These
have
guys are
makeup
up there
too.
for the free
The
meal.
secret's out.
you get a haircut?
No, no.
I was on some committees up there too, and once a year,
Well-
go up there and there was a
Get
meal.
your car fixed.
All right.
Free oil
Take
change
breaks
during
while you're
the
there.
meeting?
I
Yeah.
tell you, those kids can cook.
Oh, yeah,
Change the tire
definitely,
rotation.
definitely, yeah.
All right, is that it for comments from the planning board? I believe
Yeah.
So, okay, comments from the audience, we've got nobody left in the audience, so that's it. Other business, we're gonna approve and set the next meeting date, October 22nd, 2025.
Is that town meeting?
20th is
Not meeting
town
the
meeting.
20th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
the 20th.
Oh, this is our regular Wednesday meeting, right? The
But that's
22nd.
only if there's something that comes up.
That will be 2 meetings in October.
Right, exactly.
With that.
That's our placekeeper meeting for A and Rs that pop in.
Yeah.
And then our regularly scheduled meeting, I don't know why it says or November 12th. We are going to meet on November 12th.
Yeah.
I'll change that for future months.
Okay. Approval of consultant does anybody have a problem with either of those 2 dates?
No.
No, but how will we know if there's no A&Rs that pop in? Is somebody gonna send an email or?
Yeah, we do.
Meeting canceled.
Basically, we circle on the calendar, we keep track of when the deadline is that, okay, if an A&R comes in after this date, we can get it on the November 12th meeting.
Okay,
And once we hit that threshold, then Braden
sends out the email.
will send out the email and notify the town clerk to post that we've canceled the meeting.
Okay.
Approval of consultant vouchers, payment of bills. Do we have anything?
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, there should be something on the agenda there.
Right.
I can't think of the word.
It says Gannett, New
Yes,
England.
the,
Gannett?
the newspaper for the cell tower, the public hearing notice.
Oh, okay.
Invoice.
So I see it says that if you pay it in cash, it's $174.20, cash or check. And if you send a credit card, it's $181. Do you know how they're gonna pay this? Is it gonna be cash or check?
Probably check.
Check, yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve Brandon to pay the amount of $174.20 to Gannett, New England for a local advertisement for the cell phone tower.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, unanimous. So we're all set there. That was
That's
the
just
only
coming out
one?
of their escrow, right? That's not us paying it.
Right, yeah,
All right, that's
User fees, whatever you call it.
right. Okay, other town notices, we don't have anything. Other correspondence, nothing?
Nothing to report.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, motion that we adjourn.
okay.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Good night, everybody.
All right.